Well, hello, friends, and welcome to the most different out there episode of Ask Zach yet. That's so far. So, this episode is going to cover my obsession pre guitar, which is Legos, and then how there was this long dormant period in my life up until a couple of years ago, and getting kind of back into Legos. And then, of course, this recent set that Lego and Fender did together. And I just have to say, this is an amazing set. The attention to detail is off the charts. So that's what today's episode is about. It's about obsessions colliding, a little bit about my history with Legos, and just this wonderful set. So that's today's Ask Zach. So while you're thinking about it, if you've been enjoying the show, well, please go down in the corner and subscribe. Also, if you've been enjoying the content, well, please support the channel. Multiple ways. There's tip jar information in the description. And you can also go to askzach.com and you can find out about Friends of Ask Zach, which is a way to support the channel on a monthly basis. You also get exclusive lesson content, get the episodes early without commercials and such. Also, there's merch like this It's a Sickness shirt, which is very appropriate for today's episode. So, all right, enough about all that. Let's dive in. Let's start with Legos. So I started playing with Legos. I was born in 73. So I don't think I've ever said that specifically in the show. But yes, I was born in 1973. And not, probably around 77 or 78, I started playing with Legos. And I know it was at least that early because I have sets that came with the early minifigures. And these minifigures, they don't have movable arms and legs. And so, so these are the figures that you got with Lego sets up until 1978. So in that, I think 75 to 78 or so, you got these kind of figures. All right, well, I got very into them, and pretty much every Christmas, I always got a set, and this was one of my favorites. So this is the infamous, this is the second Lego spaceship. I also have the one that before this that's smaller, but this is probably one of the most famous Lego spaceships. I think this was released around 1980 or 81. And then one of the last big sets that I got was this, Lego Castle set. And this was a really neat set. And it was the first time they had ever done, castle or any type of set like that. So then, I start getting older and I kind of phase out of Legos and I phase into the guitar. So I become very obsessed with the guitar and the Legos go away. Luckily, I had this handy dandy Lego denim bag that still has the Lego tag on there that my cousin gave me. And so the Legos were stored in a bag like in this bag and then also a box for many years. And they were up in my parents' attic. Well, back in 2007, I got married to my wife, Amy. And then a couple of years after that, we started having children. And then also my parents started saying, you need to get this crap out of the attic, which I think we've all probably heard that at some point. And so I got all my Legos and other toys that I had, kept and got them and then started kind of putting them back together because these sets weren't left together. They were all just in complete, individual pieces. So I still had the instructions, and the instructions that I didn't have, I found that you could find online. And so I put back together this spaceship and the castle and really kind of started enjoying it. And then when my kids were old enough to really enjoy them, well, I just gave them the Legos, except for these, because I didn't want them to mess with these. So yes, I have a little bit of that Lord business thing where I don't let them touch certain things, but they have thousands and thousands and thousands of Legos that they play with. In fact, in our house, we have a whole big table in our living area that's just called the Lego table, and it's frankly called the Lego room. So we, very often get and give Lego sets for, birthdays and Christmas and such. So, but I really, besides kind of putting these together, I really didn't get like back into it, as it were, because it was just, kind of busy, and I didn't get any new sets or anything like that. And then, in 2017, my dad passed away. And for all those that have lost your father, I'm sorry. My condolences. And my mother, the Christmas following my father's passing, she gave me a Lego set for Christmas. And so I hadn't gotten a Lego set since I was probably 11 or 12 years old. So it was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. And it was a really, really neat set, and I have it here. And this is kind of a big boy set. So it was this Lego, Snowspeeder, because that's probably my third obsession is Star Wars. And so this is a Snowspeeder set, part of their kind of collector's series, and yeah. So I got this, and from then on, every Christmas, my dear mother, would give me a Lego set, and it was very nice because it was kind of healing in a way, because that was something that my parents gave me for Christmas and birthdays, all through my childhood. So it was kind of a really nice thing to get a Lego set, even at the grand age of 48, to get a Lego set from your dear mother. So I'm gonna set that down. So then this last Christmas, I had heard that Lego and Fender had come out with this set, so I kind of hinted that I wanted it. And lo and behold, for Christmas, my dear mother gave me this set. And I was somewhat excited to get it, but then when I started diving into it and seeing the attention to detail that they did on this, it just blew my mind. So I just want to give, if I wore a hat, I would take it off. I would give a hats off to Lego and to Fender for putting an amazing level of detail to this, build. And wow, it's just ridiculously. So I don't care if you're into Legos or not. If you're into the guitar, I would kind of, contemplate getting the set. And I just checked that the set is still available. I know sometimes I get in trouble for recommending books and things like that are out of print or have, kind of become, out of print, and where they become really expensive. So this set is still available. I think it's around $100. And I think it's just a ridiculously cool set. Let's go into some of the details. Of course, you've got a cable connecting the amp to the guitar and everything. The strings, as you were putting them on, they had colored ball ends like Fender strings, and also D'Addario, which I think D'Addario makes Fender strings. At least they used to. And of course, you have strings going across it. You have a tremolo bar. You have the volume and 2 tone controls. You have the selector switch. You have 3 pickups. You have the pick guard. Also, this can be made either red or black. And of course, I chose black because black guitars sound better. And that's scientifically proven. I think Jim Lill has, in fact, done a video, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that black guitars sound better. That's just a little dig at Jim because he's a friend of mine. Jim's been to my house before. So yeah, we are friends. It has tuners on it. You can tell it's a maple neck with a rosewood fretboard. It's got the back plate on it. It's got a Fender strap like you would have gotten, in the 70s and 80s. I remember getting these kinds of straps with Fender guitars. It's got a really cool stand for it. And now we're going to dig into the part that is my favorite, and that's the amp. And I wouldn't have thought that this would be my favorite by any means, but this is ridiculously cool. So here is the tremolo and vibrato, the tremolo and reverb foot switch, which just looks, amazing. And of course there you have next to a real one on this Vibrachamp reverb. And let's see, I'm going to disconnect that. And let's just dive in. You've got actual, you have a baffle board that goes on. You've got a jewel lamp. You've got the knobs. You've got inputs. You've got the chassis straps. You've got a strap. Yeah, you've got the Princeton Reverb little nameplate here. The top comes off, and you can see where they made it look like an old time, circuit, like a real, point to point wired, I guess you'd call it a turret board. And yeah, the top just kind of comes off very easily. The back, this whole back panel comes off just like on a Fender amp. Well, of course, it does come off in multiple pieces. So you have like the back panel, the bottom panel, which you take that off, and then you can see the reverb tank. So it has a reverb tank down in here, and it's got the send and return cables. And then you've got a speaker here, and it's got the 2 terminals on it. Then I'm going to take off this top panel. And this is where we start getting even deeper. There are the connections to the speaker. And then you have tubes. You have the preamp tubes, the right number of them. And then you have 2 power tubes and a rectifier. And the rectifier, they even had it where it's colored red in the middle. And, because that's always the tube that kind of shines brightest. All I can say is wow, wow, wow. This was such a fun build, and just ridiculously fun. And this looks, great, on your shelf or on your desk or what have you. I was just blown away by this. So mega kudos. Also, the amp even has a serial number back here. If you can see that. Yeah. So impressed with Fender and Lego on doing this. So I highly recommend. Also, I'll just say one of the things I love about Legos. It's another, stress relief for me. The guitar is a big stress relief for me, playing the guitar. And this is a different kind of stress relief. I mean, it's really nice to just sit down and put a set together. It's, super relaxing, super enjoyable. So I highly recommend this set, and I'll put a Amazon affiliate, link down in the description. And just so you know, again, this set was not given to me by Fender or Lego. Again, my mom bought this for me. So here's my parting words, and that's that Lego, please do a 50s Telecaster, maybe like this one. Maybe you could have either white or black pick guard for it. And then as far as the amp to go with it, I think you need to do a tweed. So, so this is my 59 Harvard. So this would be a good candidate, or probably even better one would be like a 410 Bassman, where you could have 4 speakers in the back and multiple inputs and stuff. I think that would be really cool. Oh, one thing I almost forgot. They also included these little colored wedges like picks that you're supposed to throw into the back of the amp and have on top of the amp. So there's multiple colors, kind of like Dunlop picks. So again, ridiculously cool. So hope, if you're remotely a Lego fan, highly recommend that you get this set, especially before they stop making it. And Lego, if you're out there, please make another set with a Telecaster and a tweed Fender. All right, guys. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this very different Ask Zach episode, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.